Do you remember that one cartoon where middle school felt like a crime movie? Not the one with talking animals or superheroes. I'm talking about the show that made hall passes look like FBI badges. I'm talking about Fillmore. The only cartoon that took middle school drama and flipped it into a straight-up police procedural like it was Law & Order Crayons and Chaos. And I gotta say it loud for the people in the back, this show was that show, but for some reason, nobody wanna bring it up when they talk about the greats like Batman the Animated Series or even Kim Possible. Nah, they leave Fillmore out like he's the kid nobody picks in dodgeball. And I'm here to set the record straight because Fillmore and Ingrid deserve better. They deserve statues. They deserve to be printed on the side of lunchboxes forever. And yo, let me tell you why. First of all, the show had style, swagger, and a main character who looked like he'd give Shaft a run for his money. Fillmore wasn't playing. Busting kids for stolen chalk, illegal yo-yo trades, and graffiti rings that would make Banksy cry tears of pride. And the soundtrack? Bruh, don't even get me started. The music alone made you feel like you were watching some hard-boiled detective flick, like you needed to put on a trench coat and squint dramatically at your cat while it knocked stuff off the table. And then there's Ingrid, the real MVP of the show. The Velma to Fillmore's Shaggy if Shaggy actually had his life together. She was a genius, a hacker, and could drop knowledge bombs on every kid in middle school. Every time she walked in with that deadpan look like she's seen it all, you just knew things were about to get spicy. But people don't talk about it. They don't give it flowers, they don't light a candle for it at the Cartoon Hall of Fame. They just sweep it under the rug like it's an embarrassing school photo. But you know what? Fillmore was ahead of its time. It tackled real school issues like cheating scandals, stolen mascot suits, and petty rivalries with the seriousness of a courtroom drama and the wit of a Saturday morning cartoon. The writing was sharper than attack. The jokes were flying over kids' heads but smacking adults right in the funny bone. And let me tell you, the voice acting? Shit, they got Orlando Brown killing it as Fillmore before he went on to have his own plot twists in real life. That's all I'm gonna say on that, but here's the crazy part. Disney straight up buried this gem. It ran from 2002 to 2004 like it was on the lam, just 2 seasons and out like when Pops make that store run for some milk. And if you blinked, you missed it, but if you caught it, you knew you were watching something special, something different, something that made you want to investigate your own school's lost and found like it was a crime scene. And I'm sick of people only remembering Fillmore as that weird show with the hall monitors. Nah, it was the only show that made hall monitors look like detectives from a gritty noir movie. Like you expected Fillmore to light up a cigarette and narrate his inner monologue about how the playground swings creaked in the wind. And why isn't it discussed with the greats? Because people slept on it like they took an entire bottle of NyQuil before Saturday morning cartoons, and now they're too embarrassed to admit it. But here's the thing, when you talk best cartoons of the 2000s, you better throw Fillmore's name in the mix with respect because it was serving cinematic storytelling, dynamic characters, and wild plotlines like a buffet. Plus it had world building deeper than some shows with 3 times the budget. Middle School was like a character of its own with its cliques, politics, and underground black markets for trading rare Pokemon cards. Every episode hit you with twists that had you yelling at your TV screen while your mom yelled at you for yelling. And remember how Fillmore used to say disco's dead? And so are your chances if you don't start talking like who gave this kid a license to be that smooth? I can't even order a sandwich at Subway without stuttering, and this middle schooler's out here dropping one-liners like he's on CSI Cafeteria Edition. And Ingrid with the encyclopedia memory, always pulling receipts on every suspect like she had the yearbook memorized front to back. And the villain kids? Legendary. These bad apples were masterminds, framing classmates, rigging student council elections, faking injuries to get out of gym. It was like a soap opera in a school hallway. But with more skateboard chases and the animation, clean, slick, full of stylish cuts and dramatic zooms. Like it was an anime that took place in detention, and the best part? It taught you lessons without making you feel like you were being lectured by some old crusty-ass teacher who smells like stale coffee. It was real, relatable, and raw. Like they knew kids had drama that felt life or death even if it was just about a stolen spelling bee trophy. And yo, when Fillmore and Ingrid would slow-mo walk down the hallway, that was the hardest thing on Saturday morning TV, period. Everybody else was running around chasing monsters or transforming into robots, but Fillmore was just cool, calm, and collected. Like he knew he had this case wrapped up tighter than a fruit roll-up. And why does nobody talk about it now? Because Disney kept it in the vault like it was the secret Krabby Patty formula. Barely any reruns, no big toy lines, no marketing push after the fact. They treated it like a one-night stand with greatness instead of a lifelong commitment. And the saddest part? We missed the chance for Fillmore and Ingrid to graduate to high school. Like, can you imagine them in a high school setting? Solving crimes with bigger stakes? Prom scandals? Rogue janitors stealing senior prank plans? It would have been fire, but nah, they cut it short. Robbed us of the Fillmore cinematic universe. So let's not let it fade into obscurity. Let's give it its flowers. Let's say it loud. Fillmore deserves to stand shoulder to shoulder with the greats because it taught us about loyalty, justice, and how to look fresh while rocking a hall monitor sash. It was slick, it was smart, it was everything a cartoon should be. So next time someone starts ranking their favorite tunes, you better look them dead in the eye, give a slow, dramatic nod, and whisper Fillmore, because that's what real ones do. Cue the funky detective music. And let's roll the tapes because it's time to remind the world that Fillmore ain't just a cartoon, it's a legacy.